Hello, and welcome to Threads from the Wheel. We are talking about Amazon's The Wheel of Time, um, Season 3, Episode 6, The Shadow in the Night. I'm your co-host, Monica. This is Heather. What'd you think of the episode?
Uh, that opening gave a whole new meaning to cold opening. I don't need any more explanations about Leandrin. I don't want to like the woman at all. I don't want to feel sorry for her. Mm, okay, I don't like her, but now I feel like I understand her a little better.
Yeah, it was better than he deserved.
Oh, I thought it was a little quicker than he deserved, but
Oh, that too. That too. Hmm.
in my notes it says he got what he deserved.
Mm.
Just should have been slower.
Yeah, yeah. And in my mind, better than he deserved because it wasn't slower.
Well, that first weave could have been aimed a little lower.
Yeah, a lot lower. Yeah.
Rooster to a hen in one shot.
But this was only 95 years ago. Makes her a fairly young Aes Sedai. Um, they, barring accident or injury, they lived to around 300. So she's getting her footing.
Still
uh,
wet behind the ears.
yeah. I have in my notes, talk about finding your voice. Um, uh, Min talked about how dangerous Tanchico was, but when the morality of your city is outdone by one of the Forsaken, you're not a good city. Yeah.
No.
When the Forsaken is more kind than all of you, at least down by the docks. Yeah,
Well, was he really being kind or was he looking for more
no, no,
allies?
that was definitely his pickup line, if you will, recruitment strategy.
That's the word. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he was definitely doing it with ulterior motives.
Yes. Oh, yeah. There's no, I don't think there's any goodness in the Forsaken.
No, no. Um, and you noticed it was in her dream.
Mm-hmm. Because he was
Because
still, at that time, he was still locked in the prison.
Ishe was never fully bound, in the books at least. He was always able to reach out and touch the world, presumably through the world of dreams.
No wonder he went so crazy.
Um, the um, when Artur Hawkwing went mad towards the end and decided all Aes Sedai were evil, that was Ishi's influence.
Mm, okay.
He's been doing things for a long time. And then we go into Leandrin's dream in the present day, where she thinks she's the Amerlin Seat.
Hard to feign obedience from the Amerlin seat.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that was a good line. Um, and Lanfear asks her if she's serving Ravine. And Lanfear's like, oh, I didn't know he had influence in the Black Aja. woman. He's one of the Forsaken. When a general comes to you, you don't ask what division he's from. I, I did not. I don't know if she was playing stupid or if the writers are just writing it differently. Um,
Well, speaking of the writers,
mhm.
they're calling the Forsaken. And usually you hear the Chosen. I mean, both are used equally in this episode, and it's just weird.
Depends on whether or not you follow the light. If you're
Yeah,
a
but
dark friend, they are,
Moghedian
mhm,
Moghedian later on
yeah,
calls
yeah,
them
the Forsaken.
Forsaken.
Yeah. But only a dark friend would call them those chosen to lead after, or simply the chosen. Um, so yeah, like if you follow the light, you call him the Great Lord of the Dark. You don't call you call him the Dark One, not the Great Lord of the Dark. I it's a matter of perspective. Um,
It was just weird to hear both
yeah, yeah.
names and not used correctly, I guess. Um, one of the writers, I forget her name, there was an interview and she talked about the writer strike that happened a while back.
Hmm.
And right before that happened, she had noticed they were writing some of this stuff, then. And she had noticed that whoever had written that section had interchanged um,
Hmm.
Forsaken with Chosen, and
Hmm.
she couldn't correct it during the strike because they couldn't write a word.
Mm.
And I guess
Frustrating.
something just never got fixed after the strike was over.
Hmm. Mm.
Although it seems like when they were filming it, somebody might have said, "Hey, wait a minute."
Yeah, or a writer could have just taken a, note to self. Remember, I don't know. Maybe that would count. I don't know. Then we have Leandrin meeting with her cabal. And Moghedian is just there doing her servant thing. Um, and I don't know if she's got them under compulsion or if they're just in their self-absorbed, it's just a servant, it doesn't matter. Arrogance and stupidity.
Could
But
be both.
dude, when if you're gonna say the Forsaken don't want you or the Chosen don't want you to know a thing, maybe pay attention to who else is in the room.
Take a page out of Elida's book and find out who sent you the servant.
Mm-hmm. And Moraine taught her that. Um, so we find out that it's a collar for a man. Um, and then we've got Nynaeve and Elaine in their quarters in Tenshiko. The boss everyone around. Is she always like this? Oh yeah, both of them. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Books, show, doesn't matter. Yeah. Hmm.
And the veil with all the beading on it.
Oh yes. I want to cut back with the beads.
I'm sorry, that prop was stolen straight off the set for Prince's When Doves Cry video. I kid you not.
So then we get a glimpse of the night market and them sneaking off in their costumes. And then we're out in the Threefold Land with Bear and Melaine calling Egwene out for going into Talion without them. And she's like, "Oh yeah, and I'm not a nice guy either. I lied
I
about that
lied about
too."
that too.
Ugh.
What a brat.
I, no apology, no nothing. Just yeah. Mm-hmm. So what you gonna do about it? I don't know. Not teach you anymore. That was their big leverage in the books. You either behave and do as you're told, or we're not going to teach you anymore. And her thirst for knowledge and learning everything she can about the world of dreams mm, generally keeps her in line. Generally.
Generally.
Yeah. Um, so then we get Lanfear showing up in Moraine's dream.
You've been hiding from me.
Yeah. I'm sending a little surprise. Let him handle it. I know that's difficult for you.
Ugh.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and then we're back in the waste. And Avienda is once again berating Rand for not learning about her people. It's it gets a lot in the books. Um, then we go into the garden and we have the little girl.
Sarah.
Yes, Sarah.
I finally wrote her name down.
Yes. Oh, she's my sister takes
Sorry.
my sister takes care of the goats. She's the goat herd. But what do shepherds take care of? Sheps?
Whoops.
Like, oh, like, I love you.
She's not far off.
No, no. Pronounced a little different, but yeah.
And then Rand was like, "What's this? Your shovel?" And she's like, "It's my spear."
We knew it wasn't a shovel.
I know, but it was just so
Oh,
precious.
yeah.
Her reaction.
Oh. And I'm like, oh, yeah, mini Avienda. Mm-hmm. Because I can
Mm.
just see her being exactly like that at that age.
So he's got to harvest her
Yeah.
squash when they're ripe.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Um,
I had a bad feeling about that little girl
I,
ever since they showed her the first time. It just
I was just so happy to see Rand smile because we don't get much of that in the books. Um, so yeah, I was distracted by that.
I don't know why. When they first showed her, it's like, ooh, don't get attached because
Hmm.
it's not going to be good.
Hmm. Um,
And
the
then Rand says to Avienda, I could have used your help back there. And she
yeah,
said, you handled yourself well enough, Wetlander.
yeah.
Well enough.
The only thing that bugged me was that um Alcera set the price of his toe, but only Rand knows what his pride is worth. Only Rand can set its price. Um, so I mean, but she's a little kid, so she gets a pass.
Well, he's also an outsider. He may not understand.
Mm. And she might have been playing on that.
Might have.
Like, oh yeah, I couldn't get away with this with a real IEL. but I could play a trick on the Karn. She'd do it. In a heartbeat, she'd do it. Um, and then we're back in Emmons Field, um, going back and forth between Perrin and Alana and Maxim in the attic. Um, and the lady that's tending Perrin's wounds, if we're following the books, that's Days Conger. She was she became Wisdom after Nynaeve left. Um, we don't really see much of her, so she might not even get a name in the show. But that's who I think it is anyway.
I didn't pay attention to see.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can pause Amazon and it'll show you who's on the screen
Hmm.
and what their character name is. That's how
Hmm.
I've learned how to spell most of these names.
When I'm writing my notes, I have my companion in hand. I don't trust Amazon, though they have been getting it right so far, so maybe I can.
Yeah. And Perrin's all upset. He brought the girls back, but Natty
That
didn't make
did
it.
not happen in the books.
And he
Um,
said that.
the the White Cloaks were more of a nuisance than a real threat. Um, that's one of the things I both like and hate about the show versus the books. They're fleshing things out into a more real world presentation. Um, so I mean, yeah, they're bad news for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, and then we get Padan Fain whistling
As soon as
again.
I heard that whistle, I was like, ooh, better than vain.
I I don't like that they're just treating him like a regular dark friend, at least at this point. Um, he went full on um Gollum insane in the books. So I mean they don't have to go that far. Keep him sane enough to carry on a conversation, to have enough left to reason, if you will, with. But uh, when when the mist at Shardar Logoth found him, it it battled with because can't remember if it was Ishamael or the Dark One himself who twisted Padan Fane's soul to be able to be a bloodhound for the Dragon Reborn. And he ends up being able to sense all three of the boys, but Rand most strongly. Um, and then when the thing at Shardar Logoth touches its intense hatred of the Dark One, uh, it becomes this internal fight between the two that drives whatever might have been left of Padan Fane just out of his mind. He is no more by that point. Uh, they, I think they could have taken him in a more interesting direction rather than just being an ordinary dark friend. Uh, because especially when he has his hands on that dagger, starts to gain more abilities with it. There's one point where he nails a Murdral to a door with railroad spikes through its face. This Padan Fane would not be able to do that. He's not strong enough. He isn't he isn't off his rocker enough to do that.
Well, he can't be too sane if he's throwing on a white cloak and trying to pass himself off as
Oh, that's
Grand Poobah or whatever the heck it is. I have no idea. You got to admit, there's a little bit of KKK in all of that stuff.
a little. Yeah, yeah. KKK meets the Spanish Inquisition.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't gonna say it.
You know I had to.
Mm. And then we've got Elaine and crew blending in. Um, and then Matt hears someone singing the Horn of Valere.
Before that, Matt is chatting with some random guys from
Mhm.
town and trying to see if they can find him the collar.
That's right. Yeah. Something, masculine for, manly,
It's for a big,
manly.
strong man like myself.
Ah,
Ooh. And then he
child,
hears,
child, child.
and then he hears the singer
Mm-hmm.
singing a song that's technically about him.
Yeah. Well, it's about the horn and uh those who have gone um in quest of it. And they always end up going on these grand adventures and their story gets added into yeah, it's just another verse in the song The Horn of Valere.
Death was not a bar to the call.
The grave is no bar to my call.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
It's actually an inscription on the inside of the horn.
Ah,
I I don't know if they actually did it to this horn, but it's supposed to be there.
haven't seen it really up
Mhm.
close, except in the portrait.
Doesn't do me justice.
Tom Maryland was a singer, and as soon as he sees Matt, he's like, "No, no, I don't
No,
want
no,
anything
no,
to
no,
do with
no,
you."
no. Mm-mm. Nope. Yep. In the books, it was Rand who overheard him and was like, Hang on, I know that voice." And Tom had the same reaction. I don't know what you're doing, what you're up to, and I don't want no part of it.
How could I forget? You left me for dead fighting a bloody fade.
But you're alive.
Golden opportunity missed. Matt should have looked at him and said, "But did you die?"
Um, in the books, he does end up with a limp from an injury he got in that fight, but it doesn't look like he got that injury this time around. So, yay, Tom.
I liked his cloak. I thought that was cool.
Mm. That's a traditional Gleeman's cloak with all the
Makes
patches.
sense.
It's like a badge of office. Kind of, you see one of those and you know that's a Gleeman. Um, and that I don't know if it's the actor or the writers, but they collectively they did a much better job with him this time. Season one, he couldn't read a room to save his soul. This time he's an entertainer, which is what a Gleeman is supposed to be. He's the live entertainment, the life of the party. Um, and that's his job. So, and then we get Nynaeve and Min in a pub.
You're scowling. That's suspicious. It's
Yes.
just my face.
Here, these are for you.
I wrote a lot more dialogue this time. A lot more dialogue jumped off the page or jumped off the screen at me. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, she doesn't do shots too well.
loosen up, let your braid down.
Yes. Mhm. And then Min reads that guy in the bar. Does she really marry him?
No, she kills him.
Yeah. Like, that makes sense. That makes more sense. Yeah.
But they get the information about the Luna estate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very smart way to use her ability. And in
Jane,
a way that um makes it feel natural. This is her sales pitch, not her hunting information.
Jane or Gian called or Calde was the dark haired
Oh,
white stripe.
yeah, I remember the description from the books, but I never bothered to learn those 13 names. He's Leandrin, Joya, and I only remember that one because when Egwene went through the arches, one of the things she saw, because you go through three times, once for the past, once for the present, once for the future. What we saw in the show was more or less what she saw in her future one. But in her present, in her middle pass through, she and Rand had started a family, and their daughter was named Joya. So when she comes out and she's reading that list later on, because she hadn't left yet in the books, she sees Joya listed as a dark friend. She's like, I, I can't. She just,
Yeah,
it hit her so hard. She's like, I know it's just a coincidence, but, and it wasn't real, but,
yeah, that would be really weird.
hmm. Um, and then we have Leandrin going to Naomi and asking if she could do something more precise with that memory erasing weave. Maybe
And
in
we
using
see,
legends.
yeah, and then we see Mogedion being the world's weirdest servant.
And that food looked disgusting before she started.
Well, it wasn't just that. She's like sniffing underwear and ripping clothes
Oh yeah, yeah, that's later. Yeah, yeah, I forgot
and
about
then
that.
chewing up things and spitting it back out.
Yeah. Uh,
Ooh,
you're just weird, lady. She
creepy and disgusting.
she was not insane in the books. Cowardly and in the shadows, yes, but not this.
I think it's just a because either they're ignoring her and she's got them under compulsion, or she just has them under compulsion. She's just seeing what she can get away with before anybody notices, I think.
I think she's just doing it because she can. And I think they're making her a little off her rocker, um, to make her more creepy
It's
rather
working.
than like yeah, yeah. Because Semirog and Graendal have their own ways of being creepy. Semirog is even among the chosen, she is known as a sadist. Um, Lanfear traps one of the men and forces him into teaching Rand because there's only there's no one left, who could, unless you want to go to Logain or Master and Tyene, but neither of them would be remotely as strong if they would even teach him. Um, and then she puts it about that, oh yeah, Asmodean switched sides. And Rand asks him one time about if the others find him. He said, if Semirog finds me, I will slit my own throat.
Yeah. Doesn't
That's
sound like somebody
how,
you want to be
no,
involved with.
no. Um, and Graendal is the essence of opulence and gluttony and, oh, please underestimate me, sweetheart. Well, she plays the role of an airhead so that they underestimate her, and then she stabs them in the back. And it's like, how long are y'all gonna fall for this? Uh, yeah.
Yeah, I can kind of understand that because that's one of my least favorite things to have happen too. I get underestimated. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
really?
But she does it intentionally.
No, no, I don't do it intentionally.
No. Um, so then we're back in the Aiel Waste with the Egwene and the Wise Ones, and they're trying to teach her to throw them out of her dream. And she's trying, and then poof, they disappear. Yay!
But she didn't
Wait.
do it
Oh.
because she gets sucked in.
Yes.
She goes to what I can only assume is Lanfear's fetish wheel because it's the same one that Rand was strapped to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They kind of make use of that prop.
I wrote it down as Lanfear's kink. I really did. Not shaming, just not
Yeah.
my.
Um,
He tells her that Rand knows everything.
yeah.
Rand don't know nothing.
You think she's gonna buy that? I got a bridge for you, Lanfear. And then the pin drops and saves Egwene. Again. Um, but Egwene, even after all that, wants to go right back in. I'm like, you crazy child. Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, you are. Yeah. I forgot who I'm talking about. Never mind.
Meanwhile, sane people just wouldn't sleep for a week.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's a little older here. In the books, she was only 16.
Ah,
Um, and the whole series, all 14 books, take place over 2 years. So they're really drawing this out more, at least in part to explain why their actors are aging. Gotta be at least part.
and that's got to be part of it.
Well, Rafe said he planned it out as a 7 season arc. Rafe Judkins is the
I
show.
know, I know who he is.
Okay.
I have a love-hate
We haven't
relationship with
talked
him.
much about crew and whatnot.
I
So,
have a love-hate relationship with him.
oh, okay. This is the only place I know him from. So,
This is the only place I know him from, but some of the things I've heard come out of his mouth just shouldn't.
oh,
We'll talk
okay.
later.
Okay. Um, and Rand questions Moraine about what she saw in the rings.
Do I go mad? Sometimes. Do I kill Egwene?
So,
Sometimes. Do I kill you?
so
Sometimes.
hmm,
And then Rand recognizes the Sarkhanen stone,
yeah. I
and
thought we were,
Moraine. Oh, go ahead.
I thought we were supposed to come out knowing more than when we went in.
I do,
Did
but
you?
I'm not telling you.
Yes.
That was the subtext of
Oh
what she
yeah.
said.
Yeah. Hmm. Um, yeah, he recognizes the sphere. Um, and then Moraine asks him how he handles that much of the one power, and I, just like they were saying, Saidin and Saidar are completely different. And I'm like, Moraine knows this. It- Even if he provides answers, it's not going to tell you about black doesn't tell you anything about white. It, it just they're completely different.
I think it was a way to work in how different the powers are between the
To
male
explain it to
and
him
the
rather
female.
than okay, that makes sense. To make him think about it.
Well, not just that, to explain to non book readers like myself
Uh
who may
yeah.
not know that there's a difference between
Hmm.
the two halves of the power.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah, and I like what Rand says. If there's anything the wise ones and anything the wise ones have shown me is that the I said I don't know everything about the one power.
mm-hmm.
You ain't wrong.
I thought it was very cool when he kind of zoned out and things started moving and there was that rumbling
Yeah.
sound and he's
Mhm.
just
Earthquake.
just playing with the power a little bit.
I I don't think he was doing anything intentionally. It was more of a he thought about it too hard and he just sort of started falling into it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just he he wasn't even aware of it. Moraine has to snap him out of it. Um, then we're back at the Wine Spring Inn with Perrin and Fael, and they made Dira a dark friend. She was not a dark friend in the books.
Okay, that's Fael's mom. Okay.
Yeah, that's Fael's mom. Um, but I think it was so that to give her something as dark as what Perrin was about to reveal, so they could have a moment. Um, Sucks that, at what cost, because Davram, her husband, Fael's dad, is one of my favorite characters. He ends up being Rand's right-hand man. Um, so maybe we see Davram, maybe we don't. Is Davram going to be a dark friend? I don't know. Um,
Perrin tells Fael about his wife
yeah.
and how she died.
Mhm.
And then he turns on, he becomes Mac Daddy Perrin. There is so much darkness in this world, Fael. But when I look at you, all I see is light.
This is why Perrin was my favorite in books.
In my notes, it literally says Mac Daddy Perrin.
Yeah. Um, so then we're back in the White Cloak camp, and Padon Fane is passing himself off as White Cloak.
Our reinforcements have arrived.
Yeah,
They're just
and
not the reinforcements you thought they were.
um, did you see the looks on the faces of the other reinforcements, or rather, the absence of looks? I- Either these are raw recruits who've never seen a Trolloc before, or there weren't Trollocs. Because that was a 1,000-yard stare if I ever saw one.
There weren't
Or
Trollocs.
rather, 20.
I think
That doesn't mean
Fane.
that's what.
I think Fane and his men killed the other White Cloaks that were coming for reinforcement, and that's where they got their
That would
costumes
be
from.
the human. Okay, I was thinking humans, but okay.
Because where else would they get the White Cloak get-ups?
Mm-hmm. Well, in the books he sort of commandeers a group of them. Um, he himself becomes as infectious as the blade. So anyone around who's around him for too long starts just going down that dark path. Um, so I was thinking, presuming that these were already White Cloaks, but if he somehow made them turn on each other, that would be interesting, and would also explain that look.
Maybe.
So maybe that dagger is giving him powers anyway. Um, and then we are with Matt and Tom in the tavern, and Tom's all caught up now. So your redheaded friend is the bloody dragon reborn, and you're the bloody hornblower. Yeah.
He still wanted nothing to do with it.
Oh no, no.
But
It was more like even more so. No, if it was no before, now it's hell no.
Matt brings up Leandrin and he's like, no, you stay away from her, boy.
Yeah.
So word's gotten around about her. And then he sees
Well, no,
Elaine and
I
asks
think he
about
knew Leandrin personally,
maybe he knew by
or at least
reputation.
reputation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and he sees Elaine. But
Like,
he was at Morghese's court.
yeah, that's what he
That
said.
may be how he met Leandrin, or at least heard her reputation. Because Leandrin was a Red, and so is Elida.
Yeah.
So that might be. Um,
And about that time, Elaine's cover is blown.
yeah.
And
Not the bloody daughter of Andor when I see her right before my eyes.
Tom saves her by calling her his drunken apprentice.
Last time she got ransomed. It was for enough money to buy a boat. She came back with enough money to buy a ship and drank it all away. Um,
So to prove she's the apprentice,
yeah.
she has to sing. And that was actually the actress's voice.
Yes. Yes. And I meant to look up who wrote the song and I forgot. But yeah, they did a good job.
I have to admit something kind of sad. It took me way too long to figure out what they were singing about. Way too
Thank
long.
you.
There's something wrong with me. Do I have to turn in my pervert card or
Yes, for you to not catch on immediately, yes, there's something wrong with you.
oh, she's singing and they show an extra like
Yeah,
rubbing
and
her
Matt like
chest
blushes, and I'm like, really, child, really, you?
and I didn't get it for a good minute and a half and then I'm like, oh my God, it's about boobies.
Grand Tetons, yes. One's not enough, and three's too many.
And more's the pity. Oh gosh.
And then Matt
Oh.
afterwards, that's my friend. Proud of her. It's like, oh, now you want to be associated with her.
So we cut to Min and Nynaeve, and
Oh,
they're actually having a good time.
yeah.
Leandrin, or not Leandrin, I'm losing my mind. Nynaeve
Yes.
made a
Well, sorry, you cut out there for a sec.
Nynaeve made a joke.
Yes. Hmm.
It was wild.
I didn't write it down, but she said something like, um, I hate to admit it, but I think I'm having a good time.
Hmm.
Like, did you forget how?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So their talk of Leandrin gets overheard by an older gentleman.
Yeah, some random dude, yeah.
Calls it says it was her ghost that killed all the people at the
Well, yeah, because
Lunaud
if you don't
estate.
understand how long-lived Aes Sedai are, that was 105 years ago, or more. It's like 110 years ago. No, it can't possibly be, no 110-year-old woman is going to come in and slaughter a room full of people. No,
So
she's nice.
Nynaeve buys him round for his info.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go to Naomi and Leandrin.
And Landon being creepy.
I wouldn't say it was creepy. I think it was cold blooded. Is
Oh, no, I just mean the hovering over her and her just waking up people. So,
well, she's dead asleep, and then
yeah,
Leandrin's in her face.
yeah, yeah. That's what I meant by about creepy.
Eh,
Um, and she's shielded and apparently bound with weaves of air too. Um, so yeah. And the color is in the Panarch's palace. And Leandrin thinks she's going to be one of the chosen. Yeah, she
no,
kind of put that in the books too. Um,
Lanfear would eat her for breakfast just for fun.
yeah, yeah. I hope she gets the same end here in the show.
Don't tell me.
I'm not. I'm not.
I want to enjoy it. I may watch it 3 or 4 times.
Um, and then she kills Naomi. Just
Bolt to the head.
is it the same way she killed the two guys at the beginning?
Hmm.
Um, I wonder if she actually thinks Naomi was the informant, or if it was just I have to kill somebody.
I think she thought she was the informant because Naomi says,
I was going to tell you.
I have allies that can help us. I don't need
Mm,
them.
oh, okay. That yeah. I don't need one of the Forsaken. That's okay. I didn't make that connection. Yeah, okay. Um, and then we have Alana and Maxim in the attic of the wine spring. And Alana's like, oh, this
It's
is
time.
it. Yeah. And then the Coffin Sisters come up to thank them.
You love getting thanked.
And then he's like, wait, can you do channel?
And Alana walks them through it.
Yes, that's a novice exercise. Yep.
And as soon as she's healed, she turns her head, looks at Maxim, and says, I told you so.
Yeah. Um, in the books, I know Bode could channel. She's the older of the two. Um, I don't know if the younger could, because there's an age minimum to be accepted into the tower. Bode went with Alana. Uh, and there were several others who could also channel. And I don't remember if it was a matter of we'll come back in a couple of years when your sister's old enough, because there were a few who, oh yeah, you're going to be eligible. You're just not, old enough to be away from home like that just yet. Uh,
Sorry about that. My dark friend showed up.
we got a Dougal visit, so.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, so I don't remember if they both could, but being able to heal somebody just your second time channeling, that is amazing. When you first get to the tower, they walk you through that uh, training over and over and over just to be able to light a candle. And then I think it's not until you're at least an accepted before you can even sit in on watching someone being healed. And you're expected to sit in on that. I don't even know how many times before you're allowed to assist. And it's a very long, drawn out process of how much we're going to trust you with, because you could just as easily kill somebody as heal them just from
Yeah, it
not knowing
seems
what you're
seems like a
doing.
dangerous game.
Yes, very, very much so.
But I think the show is playing on the fact that five
Nynaeve
of the
is so,
strongest characters,
yeah.
channelers or whatever, have come out of this town
Hmm.
already.
Hmm.
Why not have one,
Yeah,
one or two more,
yeah.
or however many they
In,
end up
in the
uncovering?
books, I would say it's like maybe 12 or 15, something like that, that Alana ends up taking within. Now that's from all of the Two Rivers. There's three villages. So two others aside from Emmonsfield. Uh, but still, for three little villages in nowhere, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Um, So then we're back with Perrin and Fael, and he tells her about being a wolf brother. And he shows her Matt's picture.
And you're just now telling me this?
It wasn't a good
It
time.
wasn't a good time. And then Perrin kisses her and they start making out. What is it about this
She says that's
building?
not fair. He
What
kisses.
is what is it about this building that it's okay for, out in the common area for everybody just to be getting it on? Because Rand and Egwene get it on in there in the first season.
At least that
And
was like after everyone went to bed.
and
That was the impression I got anyway.
my notes say more Mac Daddy Perrin.
Yeah, oh yes. Oh yes.
And Alana and Maxim interrupt.
Just stand there grinning.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Heard you
No,
need
you're
some
not.
healing. Heard you need some healing. And my
Mhm.
brain goes, cue the Marvin Gaye.
Okay. I will get you
Redemption.
back.
I
Yeah.
have redeemed myself.
And then we've got Nynaeve and Min stumbling their way through Tanchico.
And they arrive for the
Well,
reprise of The Hills of Tanchico.
um, before they get there, they stop by an illuminator stand. The sparklers, the illuminators are there's a guild house in Tanchico and one in Carrion. And they are the only people in the Westlands who make fireworks. And you can marry into the guild, but it's that or you're born into it. No one else is ever taught how to make fireworks. Um,
Job security.
yeah, yeah. Uh, so they come in on the end of the song. So what happened to Subtle?
Subtle.
I I assure you, I was blending in
Until she wasn't.
until she wasn't. Um, and Tom tells him about the shackled man, but the statue there at the docks. Did you get the impression that Elaine recognized Tom?
Not really.
Because
But
he was in her mother's court, but this was when she was very little. Um,
I
I'm
don't know.
guessing no more than maybe 5, maybe 6 at the most when he left, because in the books she doesn't recognize him for a long time. And then it's flashes of details. I remember sitting on your lap and tugging on your mustache just like that. You know, it's just sort of this out of the blue thing that she remembers. Um, but yeah, they had been traveling together for a while before she. Well, Tom is way more present in the books than he has been in the show. And I'm glad he's back. And I hope he stays back.
I like his character.
Hmm.
He's funny. No. Just no. Oh, did you catch that Matt stole his purse when he first
Tom's
saw him?
purse?
Yeah. You're the one that taught me that some of the best lessons in life are the most expensive. And he's holding
I,
Tom's coin purse.
I saw the coin purse. I didn't catch that.
Yep.
I'm gonna
And
have
he
to go back and
kisses
watch it a
it.
third time. And here I was thinking he was talking about the fade. So yeah, have a drink on me. Yeah, that's Matt. That's Matt.
Speaking of Matt, the weird random guy from earlier brings Matt a bracelet. I found
Mm,
this. It looks just like the picture you were showing me.
yeah.
So they have the second bracelet.
Yep. And Moghedien sneaks up on Ispan because turns out she's Rafin's spy. Um, and bye-bye Ispan. Uh, but of course she informs Moghedien of everything she was going to tell Rafin.
Naomi's death and two of the
Mm,
ones they want to kill are in
yep, I'm
Tanchico.
here. Yes. And so immediately she shows up in Nynaeve and Elaine's room and she compels them.
That's just straight evil. I'd rather be shot than be forced like that. Then that is mind rape.
Yes.
No,
Uh,
no bones about it.
yes. Uh, I was saying last time for those who have the seed born in them, the first time they touch the one power is when they find they want something more than they've ever wanted it in anything in their entire life. For some who come to the tower, it's that fancy new dress that daddy doesn't want to buy them. It's a, a material thing. So they have to convince somebody of something. And so it's some minor, something, a tiny bit compulsion adjacent, um, just stumbling upon it. And that is disciplined out of anyone who even thinks about revealing that they found such a trick. Uh, but Leandrin um, went around asking people and getting bits of, oh, you found this, oh, you found that, and cobbles together what she thinks compulsion is. It's a half attempt. Um, but anyway, back to Moghedian. That's right out of the books, and the way they act, tripping over themselves, answering her questions. The only difference is that there was a few things they held back simply because Moghedian didn't ask that question. Um, but I love that not when Nynaeve went to hand it to her, she didn't like go right away.
You're
Like she,
fighting me.
Mhm.
You're strong.
You have to be strong-willed uh,
Mm-hmm.
to fight compulsion. Um, and then Moghedian had to go and cut Nynaeve's face. That's going to be what undoes her whole little plan. Like that was not in the books, but that's going to be what gets them thinking.
It's just more of the evil Bjork stuff.
Hmm.
She's just being mean because she's mean.
Yeah, because she can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, and then Rand is in his room in the waste, and Egwene confronts him about Lanfear.
Finally.
Did you know?
Well, Rand is being a bit of a jerk about the whole thing.
Yes.
And he says some stuff that might be true, but it was very harsh.
It, the whole oh, you met the wise ones and haven't talked to me ever since. I'm like, this
Haven't
is
given me a second thought.
childishness that I hated about you in the books, and I don't like it any better now. And you're supposed to be older.
And when
Um,
Egwene questions him about, do you love her?
and he can't
And
answer.
he can't answer. So she calls it the madness.
Mhm.
If that's easier for you to swallow, then believe that.
And I was thinking the same thing when she said the madness. Like, just because he's falling for someone else, I mean, yeah, she's evil, yeah, but mm,
We both know the truth, Egwene. You don't want me, even back in the Two Rivers. There was always something that you wanted more. And even now, I am the dragon reborn. I'm not enough.
Mhm.
Cold but true.
And he said, I always liked that about you, or I always admired that about you.
But it still doesn't change the fact that he's sleeping with a damn Forsaken.
Yeah. Um,
Did you know that she was doing what she was doing to me
yeah. What are
this
you
whole
talking
time?
about?
My dreams,
Mhm.
torture. It was Lanfear this whole time. Rand didn't know.
No,
But
no way, and no.
in that moment, his surprise arrives.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Eh, was Rand even trying to fight Samael? Because he didn't look
Rand
like he was trying.
Rand looked bored. He had his back to him the whole time.
Uh, I don't want
He's
Samael to be
just
dead. I know
he's
he's a
just
Forsaken.
one
I don't want him to be dead. That was
he's
too
just
easy.
one he's just one hand in the one power
Yeah,
and
yeah,
a building falls on the dude.
yeah. He went down pretty easy in the books too, but no. Mm-mm.
And
I don't want him to go down this easy.
and he could have easily killed Avienda and Egwene
Hmm.
because he didn't know where they were in that moment. He was just in his little power zone and dropping
Hmm.
houses on Lanfear's uncle.
And Fierce Uncle.
Wizard of Oz.
Okay. Oh, the wicked one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
That's what it reminded me of. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Hmm. And Elisara.
Uh, I knew that was coming.
Hmm.
I felt it in my bones that something
Yeah.
was going to happen to that little girl and it was going to be Rand's fault. And oh, did they just jab that knife right in my heart and twist, twist, twist. It's awful.
Yeah. A very similar situation happens in the books. But it's not someone he knows. It's after a battle he sees this random child and loses his mind. By that time, he's gotten Kalendor, and one of the things about Kalendor is that it doesn't have um, most Angreal and well, no, all other Angreal and Sa Angreal have like a protective barrier to shield you from the more I don't know, addictiveness of the power. Uh, but with Kalendor, you're much more susceptible to this. I can do anything, just headspace. And he tried to bring that kid back from the dead, just like he did here. And again, it was Moraine who talked him out of it. It was like, death cannot be healed, and just grounding him.
Avienda said, life is a dream from which we all must wake.
And that's a standard Aiel phrase. To say someone has passed, they say, so and so has awoken from the dream. Um, and then we get Aiel with Bane and Shiad out in the woods, watching Trollocs pour out of the Waygate in Manetheren.
It's not a raiding party. It's an army.
Mhm. And that's
Soon,
kind of what we're
Golden
getting.
Eyes will have to lead his people to war, whether he wants to or not.
Yeah. And that's how they were getting into the two rivers in the books, as well as through the Way Gate. Um, and it was Loyal and another Aiel, because in the books there were three that went with them. Loyal and the other Aiel went and permanently closed the Way Gate, which it looks like we're going to get in the next episode from the trailers.
I
Okay.
know that the next episode is called Golden Eyes, so I'm guessing
Yeah.
it's going to center around Perrin
Oh yeah.
and the two rivers.
Yeah.
So that's
Did you see the trailer?
obvious. No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we see Loyal closing the Way Gate, and we
Okay.
see the defense of the two rivers, and the defense of the two rivers against both the Trollocs and the White Cloaks. And the Tinkers show back up. Um, in the books, it's the same band that Perrin and Egwene stayed with in book one. They were passing through the mountains of mist. They were attacked by Trollocs, and they stumble into the village, basically. And Perrin's like, "Yeah, okay. You took Egwene and I in when we needed it. The least we can do is, return the favor." So, yeah, it's real one of my favorite parts of the books. Well, is all of Shadow Rising, book four, which is um this whole situation with Perrin and the Two Rivers is across book four. There's other stuff that happens in that book as well, but for me, it's Perrin finally bleeding and Fael kicking his behind and making him do it. Because there's a line in the trailer. She says to him, "What would you give for these people?" He says, "Everything." Then show them. And it's like, yep. Yep.
No,
So,
next week or later in the week will be a lot of fun.
but yeah, if you let the credits just run, it will automatically play the trailer afterwards.
Ah,
So yeah. Um, so closing thoughts?
I enjoyed it. I really did.
Me too.
I liked seeing Nynaeve let her braid down, and the
Hmm.
hills of Tanchico is
Yes, that's my favorite out of the whole.
it. It's a
That
banger.
King Tom again.
Oh, it was very, very good. Very
Hmm.
unexpected bawdiness is good bawdiness. It's not like
Mhm.
Game of Thrones where it was just bawdy for no good reason other than
Yeah,
the fact they wanted to see boobies.
yeah, yeah. Um, well, we'd love to know what you think. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, like and subscribe, and we will see y'all next Tuesday.